Okay? Where's my fucking thing? Your mother, I'm going to make a side subject. I just raised my voice for a second. And this is why. Your mother had a friend called Capos. Call him Capos. We're going to use street names. Capos. When I'm spitting, it's because my body wants to smoke more, and it's coughing up tar, and so I need to have a cigarette. Or I don't have a cigarette, so I gotta use the smoke. Your mother had a friend we call Capos. Capos. Capos was a big, fat fucking slug that looked like Jabba the Hutt. Capos was supremely jealous of me, because Capos wanted to stick his penis in your mother's vagina. Okay? And because she was with me, he had no chance. So his only way to have her in his life before I existed was to sell cannabis, which I would call Particle N. Mind you, I call it particle. Particle. Okay? Again, I would say call it leaving breadcrumbs for people. I leave clues. When I'm talking to you right now, I have to speak in code. I have to be very careful about what I say. Okay? People say it's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. It means I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I know some real big shit. But I can't tell you. Not directly. Not even, like, hintingly. I have to say it in a way that, should you ever come to understand what I was talking about, it's safeguarded. Do you understand? I don't know how else to express that to you. I'm trying to be real polite about this one. So, your mother had a real nice habit of keeping her extra boyfriends hanging around. And so I come home from work, or from San Diego, La Jolla specifically. But, like, I'd have to go out to the desert every now and again and go to little barbecue parties at Jason's house. Okay? And I couldn't tell her where I was going. I said, I gotta go. I gotta do a thing. I will be back. I'm not cheating on you. Okay? But I gotta go. I take care of some business. I'll be back. Okay? Just try not to wreck everything. Don't have parties, you know what I mean? Like, please don't fuck anybody else while I'm gone. I would appreciate that, you know, that kind of thing. But, again, like, there's a human jealousy that comes in. Imagine this grown man walking into the house one day. As I record this right now, you would be exactly the age I was at the time I was with your mother. Okay, so, alright, well, imagine if you came home, if you had a girlfriend. I have no idea. Honestly, don't even know if you're still alive. I am afraid that you are. Okay? But unless you had that little Fauci ouchie, if you've already gotten it, you'll never have children. It sterilizes you. That's one of its effects. Okay? It's called eugenics. EUGENICS, eugenics. Okay? Ooh. Okay? Again, people don't learn Greek and Latin anymore, but I do. Okay? Ooh means good. Guinness. Okay? Guinness is your genes, eugenics. Okay? Okay, like Europe, okay, Europe, good, okay, ro, river, rowing, Europa, patras, father, okay, Europa, okay, Europa, the good rowing fathers. Who are the good rowing fathers? Those are the Vikings. Well, who are the Vikings? Those were you. Those were me. Those are our bloodline specifically. Slaves, Slavs. Slavic. That's where the word comes from. Now, you and I are peoples of color. You and I are peoples of all color. It's not racist to say that. You and I were slaves. Black people are people of no color. The blacker you are, the least color that you have. Again, these spots are not freckles. Those are spider bites. It's a dermanecrosis, okay? The spider bites you with this little thing, and that little dot is where it injects the venom into your flesh. And you see the region around where a little spike and little spikes, those are entry points. That's where the venom. And so the darkness and the furthest of, so yeah, if you get them when you're a baby, they'll stretch as you grow, you know what I mean? But like if you look down your shirt, okay, I'm not saying right now, okay, but do a body check. Look down your shirt. Do you have spiders where you live? You'll have like a little red dot. If you get a spider that goes down your shirt and you get all kind of a bunch of little red dots all over you for a second, like, man, that's itchy. A little red spot, that's a spider bite, okay? A small one probably, but watch that little red dot, it'll darken and turn into a freckle, people call it, okay? It's a dermanecrosis, okay? It's a death of a skin, okay? Derma, skin, okay? Necrosis, a death, it's a death of a skin, okay? So black people are not peoples of color, they're people of damaged skin. That's what that is. Well, why is that happening? Well, because it's not just that they're getting a spider bite. Think of the actor with the, what's his name, Morgan Freeman? He's like, black dude always, well, I remember the day, and I was in Shawshank Redemption, and I was an actor, and I'll talk on body parts, and I will say things I'll just record on the microphone, and da-da-da. Morgan Freeman was the guy's name. He's got a bunch of little, moles all over his face. Those are called bedbug bites, okay? And I don't know the Latin name for a bedbug, but if you were to sweet dreams, sweet tight, don't let the bedbugs bite is a nursery rhyme, a bedtime song, whatever. I never knew what the fuck a bedbug was. I thought that's all that was, but that's what those are. So when you see people with like a mole on their body, I don't know, like like this one right here, this is a mole. Okay, sorry for that finger. Okay, it's really flat. Okay, I got one on a thing. I had a leg. I had a mole on my leg. You know what I mean? It's because I was bit as a child. Because my mother, she went and dug my bed out of the local dumpster because it was someone put a bed next to the garbage can outside of the apartment that she had us living in. Because apparently living in a house with my dad wasn't good enough. But so she drove my dad off, and so I had no father. And then, stuck us into an apartment where she wanted to live off of government checks and government cheese. Okay? And so she got my bed, pulled it from the side of a dumpster. Well, that dumpster, it was sitting on the side of a dumpster for a reason, because it had bed bugs in it. I didn't know what a bedbug was. I'm pretty sure she probably didn't either. And so she set that bed up for me. It was a queen-size bed or something like that, or king-size, queen-size bed. Some big bed that was laying at the side of the dumpster. She said, that's in great condition. I'm just going to that's like a brand new bed. Why would they get rid of it? It's because it's infested with fucking bedbugs. Bedbugs they go for your breath. They feed on carbon dioxide. Okay, so that's what they're attracted to. So they're essentially blind as far as an insect. They're blind creatures. If they've got some scent, I really don't know where it is, but they're directed by the smell of either like the dabbing, that they, like an ant will dab as it walks, or the smell of oxygen, okay? Not the oxygen, but the carbon dioxide, okay? Your breath. Imagine a video game. When I was a kid, we had one called Space Invaders. It was on the Atari. But it was a really cool game at the time. But like, it would have a concept. Basically, it was just like a really simple, as basic of a black and white, most original video game you can think of, like Pong, was called Space Invaders, and it had like these little space invaders that would basically just be like little space, and like Tetris, it gets lower and lower, and you're at the bottom, so pa-choo, pa-choo, and you shoot up, pa-choo, 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 and so you'd have this little caster going across the bottom, and it'd shoot up, and then you'd shoot these little guys as they were going across, and then each level they come down and get a little bit closer, and then come down a little bit closer, and stuff like that, and then finally if they came down, and game over. Okay, it's kind of how bed bugs work, in a sense, that they're constantly coming. If they're in the building, they're coming. They're coming for your breath. Okay, and you got to eradicate them. Okay, exterminators or bug exterminators, pest companies, things like that. And so That's kind of an issue. That's how you get things like bed bugs. And so you get Morgan Freeman has all those little dots and those little, and they kind of like lift off. People talk about skin tags. It's not a skin tag. It's a bed bug bite. And if they get bigger and bigger, it's because people start. At first they're like pinching them or squeezing them or trying to pop them. Your mother and I were living it together at the time, and I was like, fuck. I had something on the side of my. I woke up one day and I was just like, dude, there is some kind of rock or a BB in the there's like something in the side of my back here. What the fuck is going on? Okay. Well, it's because your mother just went and like brought a bunch of shit from one of her parents, either her dad's house or her mom's house. One of you, either your dad or your mom, or her dad or her mom. Her dad lived in one city, her mom lived in another one, because her mom, again, was unfaithful, had two different daughters with two different kids. Okay, like your mother and your mother's sister are not, they don't have the same fathers. Okay, but that's the thing, it's a big family secret and stuff like that. And so, you know, your grandfather, your mother's father on that side is like super small, super small, looks just like your mother's sister. That's her father. Okay? Your mother's mother, your grandmother, had an affair, had a kid, two different ones, caused a breakup in their relationship as well. That's what happens when women start sleeping around town. Alright? And so you got that situation. And so they both remarry and do their own thing. But again, like what they would call a gold digger, your mother was taught to be a gold digger. Your mother's mother, okay, I'm not trying to talk junk right now. I'm not talking, you know, I love your family, they're good people, but they're just, honestly, they're all tweakers. Everyone in that family was a tweaker. Your mother was a tweaker. Methamphetamine, okay? Alright? I thought it was heroin. I didn't know what the fuck it was. Again, before Google didn't exist, I didn't know what the fuck. I had no way to do a search, like a Google search. There was no way to search anything. There was no Google. You know what I mean? And so, like, what the fuck is a speed? Is that the heroin? I never even heard of a fucking meth. Like I don't do drugs. I'm not around people that do these drugs. It wasn't around as me growing up, and so I don't even know what the fuck this stuff is. You know, I said, you know, weren't you on heroin or something? Like you're a heroin addict and you're giving me grief. I said, stop doing drugs. She said, I'm on heroin. You're the heroin addict. Calling me a heroin addict. This is the time that, like, step back for a second. This is the time that, like, after we kind of split and she found a new guy that was paying for her bullshit, the guy that she's with now that was, you know, buying her stuff, okay? Again, where you're living now, I don't know if where you're living now, but wherever you are right now, is your mother found a new guy after she went double or nothing with me, the guy she's living with right now, and you now have a half-brother with, okay? That guy. Buddy, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you got fucking duped. Okay, you got grifted, pal. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Not because, like, you know, that you got grifted. I'm sorry that I couldn't warn you. You know what I mean? If you weren't smart enough to figure out, because she used to try and slap that. I'm talking to your mother, my son's mother's husband. Okay? If you're so smart, because she used to like to slap that in my face as she was you know, I was trying to get access to my kid because she was taking off with him. Like, I could see that you guys were, like, pulling some shenanigans. And I tried to meet you guys at a park, right? And then nobody showed. Nobody showed. Okay? And then she calls me a heroin addict? Again, do you honestly think that Donald Trump went to Russia with a couple fucking prostitutes and stood on someone's bed pissing on Obama's old bed that he was at? I mean, stupid shit. Stupid shit. Heroin. I don't know. When your mother and I were first dating, okay, first going out, and I talked about we'd sit in the car, she had the cops we had cops pull up on us every other fucking night because she wanted to smoke weed, okay, cannabis, and she would sit there and, like, so we'd sit in the car, and we'd have to go and drive and park on the side of the street. You know, park on a curb someplace, and we sit in the car and have a smoke or whatever else like that. And so, like, but instead of doing some random place or a safe spot, these are places that she would go to on a regular basis. You know what I mean? These are places that she would go around with her other boyfriends, the ones that she would invite into my house when I come home from work at NASA every fucking day. And then there's some guy sitting in my chair, Capos or Devo or fucking Andy. Look, that motherfucker, you know, was her last real boyfriend, okay? And this fucking guy had a girlfriend who had fucking HPV, dude. Human papillomavirus. Okay? What are called warts? Genital warts? In her throat. This was your mother, her ex-boyfriend.